Today we're going to be taking a look at Fate Zero and putting it through our anime ranking categories, right? And we're going to go through each different category we do in these anime rankings. If you haven't seen the other two parts that I did Naruto and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but today we are going to be doing Fate Zero, but let's get straight into it. So first off, we have the plot of Fate Zero. So the plot of Fate Zero is pretty much kind of the setup background for Fate. It was the first one I watched because chronologically it is the first one that happens. So it's basically all like set up for like how the rest of the Fate canon Fate series works. Now with Fate Zero, you also get a lot of backstory from like Kiritsugu and stuff, the Emiya family, which if you've seen some of the other Fates, you know I believe his name is Shiro. He is the main character of Stay Night, and yeah, his dad is the main character of Fate Zero. Now the plot of this is pretty simple. It's just a Holy Grail War is happening, as it does quite often in the world, and basically the plot of this is following a few different characters of them trying to get the Holy Grail, right? So that's pretty much the main overall plot without any spoilers. And for the plot, I give it an 8 out of 10. Now the reason why is because I feel like the beginning part of Fate Zero is kind of unnecessary. Like Season 2 was phenomenal. Season 2 was a masterpiece. But Season 1, I felt like it was 12 episodes. You probably could have said everything in it in 6 episodes. It was dragged out a little bit. And it's not even like a pacing thing. It's more of like they just added information that really didn't need to be there. Because we got a lot of information on, I believe his name is Castor. And, you know, he was one of the first ones to go, one of the first ones to drop, and didn't really serve much importance to the story at all. I think they just added a bunch of fun facts to make it 2 seasons. Is kind of what it felt like. Like Season 2 was a masterpiece. Season 1 just had like a lot of information that wasn't really important in my opinion. So that's why I gave it an 8 out of 10. Next we have characters. Now characters, I'm going to give you the score right away and then explain because yeah, I gave it a 7 out of 10. Now, a lot of people may think, oh, it should be higher, and I think some people think it should be lower. The reason why I gave it a 7 out of 10 is because most of the, I forgot what they're called, the people they summon, most of them are pretty cool. The only one that's not really that cool is Castor and Saber. Saber's kind of lame in Fate Zero, I'm not going to lie. But the rest of them are cool. Kiritsugu's cool. And that's really it. I mean, Kirei's cool too, but a lot of the humans that are involved are very, very boring. And so that's why I gave it a 7 out of 10. Because yes, you have great characters like Gilgamesh and Kiritsugu. Honestly, Kirei as well is great. Ryder is great. Lancer was great as well, right? Like, there's a lot of great characters, but there's a lot of boring characters too. I can't even remember anything about Lancer's master because he was boring as hell. Castor's master was boring as hell, right? Like, there's a few of them that, like, a lot of the characters that are important to the story are kind of boring. So that's why I gave it a 7 out of 10 and not anything higher. Honestly, I think it's a little bit generous, if anything. Next, we have main character. Now, main character is Kiritsugu Emiya. As I said, Kiritsugu is awesome. His backstory is amazing. Season 2 is practically all about Kiritsugu, and it's the best season for a reason, because it follows Kiritsugu. So very simply, I'm going to give Kiritsugu a 9.5 out of 10. I think he's an amazing main character. The reason why he's not a 10 out of 10 main character is he just does not fit in that higher echelon of other main characters, which I don't want to spoil because we haven't really had any main character that's fit in the 10 out of 10, so I don't want to spoil any of those future videos. But yeah, he just doesn't fit in the category with those top tier main characters, mainly because he only has really 12 episodes to him. But yeah, he's a 9.5 out of 10. Next, we have antagonist. Now, technically, almost everybody's an antagonist except for his wife. I mean, even his person, his helper, I always forget what they're called. Saber is low-key an op. You know, she wants to do things differently than him, everything like that. So he has a lot of antagonists, so pretty much the rest of the cast. But if you're going off who is his main antagonist, you have Kirei, Ryder, Gilgamesh, and all the other masters as well. A lot of the other masters are kind of lame, but I ended up giving antagonist a 9 out of 10 just because Gilgamesh is such a good antagonist. Ryder was such a phenomenal antagonist as well, and even Kirei was very good as well. So I give it a 9 out of 10 because the main antagonist out of the big group that Kiritsugu has, the main ones are very, very good, but you can't ignore that there are some bad ones out there, so I give it a 9 out of 10. Next we have depth, and this kind of relates to the plot I talked about earlier. Season 1 doesn't really have as much depth. It's more of a lot of fun facts and a lot of setup, and the setup's fine. It's just a lot of the random side quests, which they do fit in the story, so they're not really random, but there's just not much depth there. I think they try to create depth on characters that we just don't really care about, but yeah, to me, Season 1 didn't have a lot of depth, but Season 2, Season 2 was filled with depth. Every episode was great. Every episode had something behind it. And I think that's what made Fate Zero special to me, because when I watched Season 1, I was like, you know, this is decent, right? And then I watched Season 2 and I was like, whoa. Yeah, Season 2 is a whole different show from Season 1, honestly. So for that reason, I gave Depth an 8 out of 10, because Season 2's is so good, but Season 1 really doesn't have that much. So I gave it an 8 out of 10. Season 2 really carries Fate Zero, if you can't tell. Next, we have plot twist. Now, the plot twist in Fate Zero are actually very good. Now, it's been a while since I watched this. I did a lot of these reviews like when I did them. But for plot twist, there are actually a lot of good ones. And Season 2 has a lot of crazy plot twists. I mean, even the ending is a plot twist. Kiritsugu has so many plot twists. Even in his backstory, he has plot twists, right? So yeah, there's plot twists in like every damn episode. For that reason, I gave it a 9.5 out of 10. I think they're very, very good. Again, the reason why it's not a 10, it just doesn't, it's not up there with the golden standards, you know. And one of those we already had, which is Naruto. I mean, Naruto's known for its plot twist. It arguably is the best plot twist in all of anime. And again, Fate Zero is going to struggle because it is so short. And really, it is a 24 episode anime, but it's really only 12 episodes, because Season 2 is where all the meat comes from. Season 1's all set up, so you're not really getting much out of that. So it's really 12 episodes to compete with these big, long anime. It's hard to compete, but it is very good. Next, we have emotion. For me, wasn't a very emotional show at all. There were some moments I was like, okay, you know, might get a little bit of joy out of there, right? Or a little bit of shock. But there's nothing really too emotional in Fate Zero. It's not like it was no emotion at all, but it wasn't really great by any means. And I think the biggest reason for that is because not many of the characters really get much, if that makes sense. Like, you get, like, even Gilgamesh is the biggest villain, and we don't really know shit about Gilgamesh. Like, a lot of characters don't really get much lore or backstory or depth, and the ones they give it to, like Saber is just honestly just not a good character in my opinion. I can't really relate to Saber. I can't feel sad for Saber. Like, she's just kind of boring. So for that reason, I gave Emotion a 5 out of 10. I think it could be better if more characters were expanded on, but yeah, there's very few characters to emotionally get behind in the first place. Next, we have fights. The fights, I'm going to give you the score again straight away. It is an 8 out of 10. Now, the reason I gave fights an 8 out of 10 is because, to me, they're very short. We don't have a single fight that's like even takes up a whole episode. Now, I get what, you know, many people are probably saying. It's a short anime. The fights are going to be short, of course. But yeah, they just don't really feel like long, impactful fights. Like, the fights are very quick, and it doesn't make them bad. It's just a long fight's nice. You know, I'd rather my fights be longer than shorter, right? So, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, that's why it gets an 8 out of 10, because I just wish it was a little better. Or a little longer, I should say. Next, we have Peaks. The Peaks blew me out the water. I'm going 10 out of 10 for Peaks. It honestly shocked me how much, like, Season 2 was going to be good. Especially after watching Season 1. I didn't even have much faith in Fate at all starting it. I was like, I'll give it a try. You know, I heard it's good. And I ended up enjoying Season 1. I was like, it's pretty good. And then I got Season 2 and I was like, oh, wow. That's really phenomenal. So, yeah, I think Peaks for me, definitely 10 out of 10. It definitely shocked me for sure. Next, we have Enjoyment. You're going to get the same thing you've heard on everything. Season 1, not that great. Season 2, phenomenal. So I gave it an 8 out of 10 because Season 2 does all this heavy lifting here. And Season 1 just, to me, not nearly as good. Next, we have World Building. To me, I don't think it was anything special. I don't think anything crazy of the world building. Like, it's set in the real world, and yes, these people come from different worlds and stuff, but that's not really expanded on. I mean, we see Ryder's little thing going on, but we could also say, like, we don't know how the rest of the world really looks. So I just gave it a 7 out of 10 and called it a day, because it's like, there's nothing special about it, but it's not bad, like, but it's also not really explained upon. So 7 out of 10 is what I decided on world building. Next, we have animation. I mean, I don't know how I can talk about animation much. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. It's pretty solid. I think it's good. Yeah, that's all I have to say about it. If you want to know why it's not a 10 out of 10, it's because it's not like a generational animation, like something that is ever been the top of its class, or like created a new standard, if that makes sense. Like we have other shows that have done that. Fate didn't really do that. It looks good, but it's never been the top of its class, and it's never like created any standards. But next we have music. Honestly, for me, I think the music in Fate is not that good. I think the OST is pretty good, but the intros and outros are pretty bad. I guess a little fun fact about me that a lot of people are not going to like. I'm not a big fan of Lisa. I wouldn't call myself a hater of Lisa. The Japanese one, the Korean one's fire. But yeah, I don't like any of her intros other than the irregular at Magic High School. Anyway, I'm getting a little bit off track. I give music a 6 out of 10. I don't really enjoy it. I think the intros and outros are really bad, and the OSTs are all that saves it. But the OSTs are pretty fire, I will say. But really don't like the intros, really don't like the outros. So yeah, I give it a 6 out of 10. Next, we have the ending. The ending was super unexpected and by far the best part of the show. Pretty easily, I think you see where I'm going to go with this. It's a 10 out of 10. The ending of Fate Zero was fire, and it actually sets things up well. I think the only complaint I have about it is it doesn't really make me want to watch Fate Stay Night. Like, even though it's supposed to be like the prelude to it, right? It's supposed to be the setup for Fate Stay Night. I don't really have a want to watch it, to be honest. I'm cool with just watching Fate Zero, so I think that's the only thing the ending didn't accomplish. But as a standalone ending, it's fire. So yeah, I give it a 10 out of 10. So with the overall everything averaged up, we have an 8.2 out of 10, which is a pretty good rating. I mean, an 8 out of 10 show, you'd be like, all right, yeah, I'll watch that if there's not, many that are higher, and I think that's a pretty fair ranking. So far in our list, I don't have the list compiled because we're going to go in at the end and do like a big video on that, but that would put it at number 3 right now, with Naruto and JoJo's being ahead of it, which, makes sense. Fate is good, but it's not Naruto or JoJo's, right? But with that being said, give me anime suggestions as well. Like, I know a lot of people when I do my reviews are like, you should review this, you should review that. I've seen about 60 to 70 different anime. There's a lot I haven't seen. There's a lot I have seen. So if you leave a comment and tell me to watch something, if I watch it, I'll let you know. The review is coming eventually. If not, I'll let you know, like, hey, it's on my list, or, respectfully, I don't plan on watching it, right? But if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it, and it helps me out a lot. I see y'all are liking the videos because they're doing pretty well, at least the ones recently. So if you like this, please leave a like, subscribe, and if you made it to the end, you're actually the GOAT. Like, I don't, most people click off by now, but thank you so much. I appreciate you. Peace.